guys.
Wait, let me fix my hair. Yes.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys don't know me, my name is Coralie. This is actually my second video, so I came and tell you to catch up or whatever. But do watch my first video, my intro video. Anyway, today we're gonna be talking about how and why I moved to LA. So, I graduated from Morgan State University in 2014, and before I even visited California, I already knew it was like back here. So at first I wasn't really thinking too much about it. It was more so I graduated, I don't want a 9 to 5, I'll be a cocktail server. I started working at Maryland Live Casino where money was flowing. I mean, making money, all right? So the one thing that worked on my side was I didn't have to pay rent at home because I was living with my mom. So I was really working to pay my phone bill and my car insurance. That was it. And going out money, I mean, shit. So once I decided that, you know what, this move is happening, I set a deadline, which was, at first it was January 31st, 2017. I spent my entire 2016, started saving up. It was pretty easy for me because people play with chips. So I took the chips home and saved them. Whatever cash I had, that's what I used to like spend money and pay bills and stuff like that. I had a saving account that I wasn't allowed to touch. I was only allowed to touch it once a month. I think it was called the CD account. I had it with Bank of America at the time. So it's like, it's one of those accounts where you can put in money or take out money once a month. Okay, so I wasn't gonna take out any money, only putting it. So I would save whatever I had for the entire month. And when it was time to go, I'll cash the chips in and I'll go straight to the bank and deposit it so I don't get robbed or nothing. So that was my method of saving. Now, at the time, I didn't really have a like full plan. And randomly, I was actually hanging out with a new friend that I had at the time. Now she's a great friend of mine. We were talking about LA, moving to LA, and she was like, we should be roommates. I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, we're roommates. So at this point, we made up our minds, we're roommates. So now it's really being serious, saving money. Now also trying to find an apartment. Okay, that's gonna be good for the both of us. I have my brother, it's like one of my ex's cousins. He's like a brother to me. His name is Theron. Shout out to Theron. He actually made my banner. I hope you like it. He made my banner for me. Great guy, beautiful heart. He lived here. He lived in LA at the time, so he helped me out a lot when it came to like going to see apartments for me. So if you do have anybody who's there, any friends that can help you, definitely reach out and see if they can do it. If they can't, LA is hard, so don't get in your feelings, okay? After that, I came to LA, I want to say twice. I came for my birthday, and I came another time to actually look at apartments. Start looking when you're actually ready. I want to say a couple weeks before you're ready. A month, but that's a blessing. It happened to me one time. Well, for this apartment that I have now, that one was a blessing, but a couple weeks, I want to say. Just be ready to go and then start looking. I had to make sure I had my shit together. So we had a budget of what, like $1,800 at the time. The budget was $1,800, so $900 per person kind of thing. So my mom, she don't play. She reached out to all her friends she knew lived in LA and like asked them for like any suggestions or any opinions or any feedbacks, whatever. And one of the uncles with who she was talking to asked to speak to me. So I'm in my room chilling. My mom comes over. She's like, yeah, you know, like, talk to my friend, da da da. He's like, oh, so where do you guys want to live and what's your budget? And I told him, I was like, so my budget is $1,800. He was like, for what, like 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom? I was like, hopefully 2 bedroom. He's like, okay, let me tell you this. Your budget is not realistic. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's not realistic. And you're better off getting a nice studio, nice big studio. You guys, you and your roommate share it for the first year. Once you guys are settled in, time passes, whatever, then you guys can you know, find something else once you're familiar with the areas and stuff like that. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to share my space with anyone because I've basically done that my entire life. So for once, I wanted to have my own space. You know, I just didn't mind having a roommate, but I don't want to share my space for real. But I was ready to really compromise that. So I reached out to my roommate. Turns out there were little issues that were like rising up. First roommate fell through. Then I had another option. I'm not gonna get into too many details. Another option that didn't work either. Second option was actually pretty funny. It's not funny, but looking back at it, it's like, what the hell? Anyway, that's another story for another time. So I decided to just go ahead and save way more money now. How am I gonna do that? I started working doubles. My shifts were what, from 7 to 11 p.m. But because if you work a double, you get to go home early when it came to like seniority or who leaves early and stuff like that. So I get to leave at like 7. Once the girls come in, I can just leave. My search changed to a studio. So it got a little easier because now I just had to worry about myself and not other people. And I decided to take a secret trip to LA. Okay, now my deadline once again was January 31st. Okay, and God sat my ass down. It was like,
not on my watch.
Your plans are my plans. So that time frame from like January 1st to January 31st was very eye-opening. Maybe a little after that, it was very eye-opening. So the weekend of Valentine's Day that year, 2017, I decided to take that secret trip. Only like what, rewind. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. So I was talking to actually one of my best friends, and he told me that there was a girl we went to college with who's from LA, and she's back home, so he's gonna put us in contact. I was like, all right, cool. I mean, if she's okay with it. She was okay with it, thank God. So I we got in contact. She asked me what I wanted. She kind of told me about some of the areas, and she was so sweet for somebody that like, she don't know me from nowhere. I mean, she knows me. I mean, we know each other, I guess, from school, but we never really spoke. So she took it upon herself to really, on her free time, to go around like LA to go look for apartments for me. Again, this is somebody I don't really even know. Okay, so she was so helpful, and her name is Zuri. Thank you, babe. Love you, and thank you so much for everything you've done. And I took my secret trip. Only she knew. One of my mom's friend's son who lives in West Covina, far. I mean, because he got my hotel for me for the weekend. And my mom, I don't even think my brother knew. Maybe he did, I don't know. When I came out here, the family friend came and got me, took me out to eat. No, he took me to the hotel first. He took me out to eat and got room service for me, like brought me a whole like tray of fruit. Okay, like a whole tray of fruit and a bottle of champagne. Thank you. The next day was going to look for apartments. I had already had my list of places I wanted to go to, where they were, how far they were from each other. Had to see if I needed to take an Uber and walk, whatever. So I was looking mainly in the Koreatown area, since I was kind of familiar with it. I knew the area, I knew it was close to everything. Koreatown is a great place to live, distance-wise. So when I did my research, whatever, went and saw apartments. Some people made appointments with me and just never answered their phones, which was a waste. You just gotta have a lot of patience. Like, you really need patience. So I saw some apartments, whatever. I saw one that I kind of liked, so I told the guy that, you know what, I think I'm gonna do the application for that. He was like, okay, cool. So the second day, the guy contacted me and told me like, hey, you know, the apartment that you saw, someone took it. So I'm sorry. So I'm like, great. I have to look at some more stuff. So I had to do more research and stuff like that. I got with Zuri. We linked up, and we got food. And then on my last day, when I was supposed to leave, which was the day the agent, whatever, called me and told me that the apartment was taken. He also mentioned that he had another unit, another studio that's similar, like a similar size, but it had really big windows and it cost a little, like just a couple more dollars. I told him I'd let him know. So I look around, I don't like anything. They either look good in pictures and look trash in person. Like cabinets look so old. A lot of apartments in LA are like this. So if it bothers you, whew, good luck. So towards the end of the night, I think my flight was at like 9 or 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. So I want to say around 7 or 8ish. Me and Sari went downtown. We went back to the building that I liked or whatever. The last apartment that I saw was it. Like, was literally everything I wanted. Not everything I wanted, but it was a decent size. It was a little bit renovated. It didn't have that old look, really. So I was like, this is it. Like, I'm doing the paperwork as soon as I land in Maryland. Like, as soon as I get there. The guy that was interested in the apartment, so I was going to mail him all the things that he needed from me the next morning. As soon as I got home, got them printed out, filled it out, and faxed it to him. Within 2 days, he reached back out and told me that I got the apartment. I was at work that day too. I remember I was working, and not supposed to have your phone on you, but who listens? I checked my phone and I see that he texted me, and I was like, all right, let me just step out real quick and call him. So I took a little break, stepped out. When I called him, he was like, yeah, you got the apartment. But the landlord was a little concerned because I didn't have a job when I applied. I didn't have a job yet, you know? So I told him I was gonna get a job as soon as I like moved or whatever. But because I didn't have something set in stone, they were a little iffy, because I'm sure they always get people who move from different states and are very inconsistent when it comes to payment. They just have to cover their asses, really. So he was like, well, in order for you to really get the apartment, you have to put down the deposit, which is the same amount as the rent, first month rent and the last month rent. I was like, all right, like that's fine. Because again, I saved so much money. Total, I want to say I saved $15,000. So like paying all that was not an issue. It was not an issue because I worked my ass off. So now I know exactly when I'm moving. So now what? As soon as I got off the phone with that man, I went straight to the manager's office and got a form that I had to fill out for my 2 weeks notice. So I filled it out right there and then and turned it right in because I already knew I was leaving. So now it's time to pack, okay? Pack all my shit. Went apartment shopping. I got a bunch of stuff for my apartment. Now, how am I gonna transport all that stuff? My old friend at the time who was moving to LA used a specific company to ship her car. So she had shared that information with me. So I contacted them. It cost me about $850. I knew exactly when I was gonna arrive in LA, so I made sure they knew when to come pick up my car because there was a time I wanted my car to be there. So before they got my car, I made sure I packed it up with everything that I could put in there. Like anything that I could fit in there, I fit in there. But another thing you have to be mindful of, if you don't have tents on your car when you're shipping it, make sure that your stuff are covered up. But you don't want your car to get broken into because, mind you, this truck is driving from states to states and dropping off different cars. My mom prayed over the car to make sure that nobody sees anything that's in the car because my car is a fishbowl, okay? So packed the car up. They came and picked it up like several days before I actually left. I bought my flight, and I also bought my mom a flight because I wanted her to carry some of my suitcases. I legit packed my entire life, and I'm telling you guys, I was leaving Maryland and not coming back. I'm leaving. Like my coats, even though it's like nice in LA, all my jackets, everything came with me, all my shoes, my entire life came with me. So get to LA, my car got here the same day. I went to the leasing office to do the paperwork. I realized that the guy did something illegal. Turns out they're not allowed to ask you for the last month rent. It's illegal. But I didn't know, and I had the money, so I didn't care. I saved enough. I was prepared for all that. So I went ahead and paid it or whatever. I lived there for a year and a half. I love the location because I was legit in the heart of Koreatown, like Wilshire, Vermont. Like if you know, you know. It's like so busy over there. The downside, pray that you have parking or try to get parking, because finding a parking spot out here is like Hunger Games, the Hunger Games for parking spots. It's crazy. There's street cleanings. You have to get up in the morning. Imagine going to work and getting home at 3 a.m. Then you have to be up at 7:55 so you can move your car, because they have, that was bad. Just make sure your apartment has parking. Make sure you have air conditioning, or if not, just be prepared, have a fan. The downside of me having that one apartment with the big windows, I had beautiful sunlight coming in. Summertime was wild. It was a mess. It was hot in there. They suggested that I bought like one I can put in the wall and all that stuff, which is extra. I was not going to do that. I just tried to stay away from my apartment when the sun came out, or I just didn't open my blinds at all and just stayed in there, which sucked because I love sunlight. I ended up finding a parking spot as well across the street after 100, God knows how many tickets I got before I found that parking spot. But I went up and signed up to get a parking spot across like a block away for like it started at $85 per month, and it went up to $150, which was trash. For the amount that I was paying, I didn't mind just finding something else, because also be mindful that when I first got here, I got another job at another casino because I knew how consistent the money is. And so it's been easy for me to live on my own, really. Like God has always been there. Like when there were times where I felt like, oh, how am I gonna like pay for this? I'll go to work and somebody blesses me. I moved out here with no roommate. That's how I did it. Really, you just need to know how to prioritize your finances. Like, make sure your priorities are all lined up. Make sure you know what you want. Make sure, I don't like to depend on people. I don't like asking people for anything. So I made sure I worked really hard. I made sure I really saved enough money really so I can be comfortable. Like I don't have to worry about anything. My mom, I know my mom is there. She's always been there if like there was find an issue like money wise. Like, oh, she always finds a way to help me out. But that rarely happened. Probably happened once, and I've been in LA for 3 years. With all that I was paying, I decided to move after a year and a half, because like with there is you sign a lease for 1 year, and after that it's month to month. So if you're paying month to month, you can just leave whenever you want. Really, you just have to tell them a month in advance. So I told them, and on August 1st that I was leaving to find that I was moving. I was over the whole summer. The summer was just, oh my God, it was trash. So again, like I said, I wanted to leave and find another apartment. So I was looking at more studios. I was looking at 1 bedrooms. My budget was a little higher because I knew I could do it with the job that I had. Mind you, I was part-time. And I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I hope it was helpful. If you have more questions, please leave comments below. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you also turn on the notification bell up top. I don't have like a set schedule yet, but you'll know exactly when I post, so you'll be up to date. I hope to hear from you guys. Bye.